Alright, pause kibisha. What's up, child of God? Welcome on today's show. I'll be taking you through some interesting, creepy videos that might leave you in disbelief or speechlessly in shock. I am your host of today, Y311H, and I'm all the way straight out of Africa with lots of good vibes and a gift for your soul. Now, good vibes, child of God. Here we do interesting stuff, which is reacting to interesting videos, spreading our message to all parts of this globe. Or you might say is a circle, flat thing, whatever you think the world looks like. This message is of hope, love, peace, honesty, kindness, my friend, and honesty. 1, 2, honesty, kindness, hope, love. Which is the other one? Unity, forgiveness. Child of God, I'm sure your heart knows about these virtues that can make you a good human being. Basically, loving your neighbor the way you love yourself. Now, let me share with you this message that I had here. This one is intended for you. Worry not, my friend, because this is what the book says. From Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel 36 and verse 26, it says, the Lord talking, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. You will live in the land I gave you, our forefathers. You will be my people and I will be your God. Interesting. That message is for you, my friend, and is a promise of a new heart. Interesting. My friend. Now, child of God, let's talk to this wonderful creator that is promising us of a new heart, a good vibes heart connected with him. Dear Lord Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your kindness and love, Father. We thank you for the words from the book of wisdom. Thank you for reminding us, Father, of your love for us. All glory and honor belong to you, Father. Thank you, dear Lord, for this child of yours that have been directed to this channel today. We give you thanks for that, Father. Thank you for the blessings in store for them, Father, through this video. Thank you for the transformation, dear Lord, of their life, Father, that you shall be doing through this episode. And as you do great things for this viewer, Father, as you be merciful to them and forgive them their sins, as you uplift their souls, Father, also include us, dear Lord. Guide us till the end, Father, and we shall be thankful. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes souls.
How did humans make this, right? This is a microprocessor. That's a human hair, the width of a human hair. Look how deep this goes. How, as human beings, have we been even able to come close to making something like this? You think, oh, that's amazing. Like, he's gone in quite far there. It just keeps going and going. Look how far this goes. How did we make this? Like, what process did it blows my mind. It just keeps on going. Look at that. And then the zoom out. And like that was all just right in there. And that's the human hair.
Você é grande, viu? Sai daí. Sai daí. Aguenta, cachorro.
You've been doing it all wrong. Most people cut a lemon in half and squeeze it with their hands, but they waste so much juice. Here's the secret. Cut the base so the lemon stands up, then carve a small cone from the top. This trick gives you maximum juice with minimal effort. Just press and twist and look how much juice comes out effortlessly. No more wasted drops. Mind blown? Try this hack and tell me if it worked for you. Tag a friend who needs to see this.
Oh, that's an interesting hack. Aye, earthlings out there are getting more and more creative. Good web source, isn't that fantastic? That reminds us of our uniqueness, each and every soul out there, in our perspectives, ways of living, all that, just like we have seen from different videos to this point. Earthlings leaving their comments, others telling us about more interesting stuff, and you, my friend, can you also tell us what you think about these videos? Let's keep on watching and much love to everybody. Good vibes, my friends.
Does it weird anyone else out that all of the complex machinery inside the human body, your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your kidneys, everything that it's doing, your stomach digesting, all of it happens in total darkness? There is an enclosed, complicated system, machine in there, basically running nonstop, 24/7, with all of these incredible processes, and all of it's happening shielded from the sun, from light, because of your skin, your bone, your muscle tissue, and so it's just constantly running in an absolute void.
Y'all aren't ready to hear this, but I want to help the women out, okay? I want to help my ladies out. You can literally smell the health of your partner or your future partner. Like if you're trying to find a partner, if you're trying to find yourself a man, which, you know, she's always on the hunt as well. The standards are high though, because the healthier you get, the more that you are able to tap into your innate female intuition and senses about the health of your alleged partner, right? The one that you're sussing out. How? You can literally smell a man's testosterone status, and you can smell sort of like his like liver toxin burden, because if a man smells really like, if their sweat reeks, like if it's freaking putrid and sour, it's a sign that there is like a high liver burden, there's a high toxicity burden, and those toxins then get pushed through the skin, because remember we've talked before about how like the skin is a secondary backup plan for the liver, right? So gross toxins that can't, get through your clogged liver come out through the skin, okay? So if your man's sweat like literally smells like garbaggio, lots of toxins to work on there. And then the testosterone piece, okay, because we all want high T men, because right, that's like an evolutionary advantage, right? That means protection, that means strength, that means able to care for you, etc., etc. That means offspring are going to be healthy and strong, okay? So there's two pheromones that you can look up. It's really interesting, androstenone and androstenol. And these sort of have like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but if you read romantasy books or like even romance books in general, and they always describe like the main male character as like, he smelled like musky woods, and like it literally has that sort of quality to it. Like, I don't know why we say musky. Like musky is always used. It's like attractive, but it's like literally the scent quality of having high testosterone. And I don't know how true this is, but we learn like in immunology, and like I don't really know actually how much we even really know about immunology at this point, because that's a whole other esoteric spiritual rabbit hole we can go down that I won't do right now. But we can smell, and this is why like you aren't attracted to your siblings. You smell an MHC complex, a major histocompatibility complex, which like allows you to be attracted to somebody with like a healthier immune system, or with a different type of immune system from you, so that your offspring have like essentially a strong, robust immune system, and like so you aren't attracted to somebody who has like essentially the same one as you, which is why like your family, anyways, that's TMI. But I just think it's all really interesting. And I was like reading about this because I'm like diving into like sacred feminine and like, you know, fertility, because that's the direction I'm going. So I just wanted to share that. Guys, just smell the musk, follow the musk.
I used to think I was smart until I found out how Doritos are made.
We make about 8 million bags of Doritos a day, 2 billion bags a year.
8 million bags a day, 2 billion bags a year. Who's eating all these damn Doritos?
These cheesy chips start out as cooked yellow corn.
And then second, to also have the corn absorb some moisture so that we could make the mazo, or the dough that we use to make the Dorito.
Soft dough extrudes into thick sheets that are secretly thinned out and stamped into a series of triangles. Once cut, they quickly make their way into a 500-degree hot box.
At that point, it's very much like a tortilla. Doesn't have its crunchy flavor at all.
The heat from the oven actually pulls moisture out of each pliable chip and prepares them for a deep-fried dip. Once they hit the 300-degree corn oil, it takes a mere minute for the chips to take on their crisp. Then it's time for a bit of flavor. And to get that cheesiness, some bovines are working overtime.
It takes about 10,000 cows to make all the cheese for our Doritos.
The cheese recipe is top secret, but what is known is that it's a blend of Romano, Parmesan, and
Milk cultures, salt enzymes, citric acid, skim milk, artificial color, red 40, yellow 6, yellow 5, blue...
with just enough spice to keep us on our...
Who knew?
I got a theory about self-checkout. Maybe some of you already had this thought. Okay, like they gotta be put in place for more than just efficiency. That can't be it. It's not because it's faster. It's not because they can't find people to do the job. I'm in Walmart right now, and there's about 100 people in line because there's only self-checkouts available. Yet there's tons of employees all over the store stocking shelves. They're honestly everywhere. There's hundreds of employees in here. There's not a single register open with a person working at it. And it's not just here, it's every store. I'll say most stores. But why are they letting us do it? Why do we have to do it? Why do they trust us with that when they know they probably shouldn't trust a lot of us with that? Let's not act like we don't know people that abuse the system. I'll say allegedly. It's just my theory that I think they want to know who they can trust. They want to know who's a good citizen and who's not. I think they want to know who the good citizens are. Then again, I don't even know if they would care. Educational and entertainment purposes, of course.
If you have an iPhone and you've ever wondered what happens when you activate your SOS and you don't turn it off quick enough, I can tell you because it happened to me last night. Normal night, my boyfriend and I go to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night because I have to pee. If I wake up in the middle of the night and have to use the bathroom, when I come back into our room, I always tap my phone screen to see what time it is, and then I get back in bed, and my cat jumps up, and we all cuddle, and we go back to dreamy dreamland. Not last night, because I tapped my phone screen, and the screen wouldn't come on. Now, I do real estate, I do Mary Kay, I do Instacart, and I do DoorDash. I need my phone. I'm starting to panic that I'm going to end up having to, be at Verizon first thing in the morning. It's always something. It's always something. So I'm tapping the screen, clicking the buttons on the side of my phone. So if you have an iPhone, one of the features is that if you click the side button, not the volume buttons, but the other one, 5 times, it activates your SOS. And that's what I did. And because my screen wasn't working, I couldn't turn it off. My boyfriend wakes up and rolls over and he's like, "What's happening? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, my phone screen's not working. And I think I just activated my SOS." Well, then my phone starts buzzing, vibrating, as if somebody was calling me. So I thought, my God, I activated 911 and they're calling me back and I can't answer it. The police are going to show up at my house at 3:30 in the morning because I can't answer my phone. It's just getting worse and worse. So I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, "I need your phone because I need to text our family message." We have like this big group message. I need to text everyone and let them know there's no emergency here. I just wanted to check the time, and out of frustration, I kept clicking buttons and I should have remained calm. So he gets his phone and he's like, "I just got the SOS message." I'm like, oh my God. But my phone is continuing to go off as if somebody's calling me. I can feel it vibrating. So I'm trying to like slide to answer just to see if that would work. No, it didn't work. Trying to type on his phone as quick as possible. No hate to Android users, but I can't stand Androids. I feel like you have to press the screen so hard to type, and I'm used to my iPhone where I can just be like, quickly, I don't know. And I'm trying to type on his phone and I couldn't type it quick enough. My sister calls him and I accidentally hit the decline button. I told you it gets worse. I give him his phone back and I'm like, get your stupid Android out of here. Call my sister back. He calls my sister back and she's like, what's going on? Is everything okay? And I'm like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I just had to pee. I just wanted to check my phone and check the time and go back to bed. But my phone screen's not working, so I was clicking buttons and I activated my SOS. As I was on the phone with her, my screen started working again. Bro, do you not realize the major chaos that you just created at 3:30 in the morning? Since my phone's working again, I text the family message quickly and I'm like, hey fam, no emergency. Here's what happened. Short, sweet, and to the point. So I checked my call log and obviously it had activated 911 and my local Department of Emergency Services tried to call me back, but I couldn't answer it. Why? Because my phone screen wasn't working. I called back the number, like, everything's fine. Here's my name, my address. I literally told her what happened and she's like, no emergency, everything's good. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, okay, have a great night. So I go back upstairs. Of course I couldn't fall back to sleep because what a shit show. So I scrolled TikTok for like an hour and a half before I was able to fall back to sleep. That's what happens when you activate SOS and you don't turn it off. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
Pay attention, boys and girls, because here's something that's going to slide under the radar because nobody really pays attention, I guess, except me. In front of the U.S. Supreme Court today, the Trump administration argued that they can arrest anyone at any time for any reason, whether they're a citizen or non-citizen, and ship them overseas to a prison outside of the United States. Now, they're talking about Venezuela, but they're saying they can do it at any time, anywhere, to any prison in the world outside of the U.S. for any reason they want. And the courts have no jurisdiction to stop them. This is what the Solicitor General of the United States argued in court today in front of the Supreme Court. We told you before the election that Donald Trump thinks he's Putin and wants to be Putin and wants to be Kim Jong-un. You people said we didn't know what we were talking about. This is right out of Project 2025, the white Christian nationalist agenda. And Trump's people argued it today in front of the Supreme Court. You don't believe me? Google it and look it up.
Did y'all see the tallest bridge that will be finished in June of this year in China? Yo, they saying the way people, the travel time people go, it takes them like 70 minutes to get to their destination. But they saying once this bridge opens, it could take them 1 minute to get to where they need to go. When I tell y'all that bridge is tall, made out of steel, y'all just go in the search bar and y'all got to type in China's tallest bridge made of iron. The bridge is not open as of yet, but they could show you like a little view of the bridge. The bridge is supposed to open June of this year, 2025. But y'all, the bridge sit 2,000 and something feet above sea level. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think this tall bridge, because would y'all travel this bridge? Or would you just take the 70 minutes versus the 1 minute? Y'all let me know in the comments.
I have heard that there's some people on here that are on the fence about having kids. And if that's you, I want to tell a quick story that I think is going to nudge you in the direction that you need to go in. So I have a 2-year-old, and every night he does something called a naked run. And what that basically means is every night before his bath, when we take off his clothes to get in the bath, he gets to run around the whole house buck naked. And he loves it. It's his favorite thing to do. It makes him so happy. And recently, when he was doing his naked run, I was kind of standing in front of the TV, like zoned out watching TV. And he came up behind me and he pulled on my shirt a little bit and he said, "Dad, poop?" and he was pointing to something on the coffee table. And so I went over to look at the coffee table more closely, and it was poop, because he had climbed up on the coffee table while he was fully naked and taking a shit. So I really hope that that story kind of like helps you figure it out, just if you're wondering.
The fact that this white man had the audacity to say that the British people weren't immigrants when they came to Australia. This is our land.
It is our land, though. We created Australia. We are Australians. That continent is ours. And the only people who want to tell us that it's stolen land and that it doesn't belong to us are people who want to take it from us. And along that same ulterior motive of wanting to steal the country from us is this argument that we're all immigrants, that the first Australian pioneers who were British and built the country from literally dirt and bush into a first world country, that they are somehow the same as the immigrants who rock up today to our post-industrial aging society, is a non sequitur. The only reason these arguments of it being stolen land and everyone's just immigrants, the reason they are employed is to help to debase and destroy the Australian identity, such as to culturally disarm us so we don't feel like we're actually losing anything, as we are literally losing our country and her national inheritance, which our ancestors bequeathed to us. So Australians need to learn to recognize this threat. When someone tells you something isn't yours, particularly your actual country, they're planning to take it from you.
So a lot of people assume that Zach Galifianakis is this really good guy, and despite his crude humor, most people assume that he's down to earth. But Zach Galifianakis is a Hollywood celebrity, very famous one, and when I found out this story about him meeting up with this woman behind a laundromat, it kind of changed my perspective on him. You see, back in the 1990s, before The Hangover made him famous, Zach Galifianakis was just a struggling comedian living in Los Angeles, just barely getting by, and he used to hang out at this local laundromat in Santa Monica, where he met an elderly woman named Elizabeth Mimi Haste. Back then, she was already in her 70s and homeless, and she'd been living in the back of the laundromat for decades, folding clothes for people, just trying to get tips to survive. Zach and Mimi became very close friends, and she actually supported his early career in some small ways, encouraging him and chatting while he did his laundry and cheering him on when he booked these small little gigs. Years later, when Zach made it big, he never forgot about her. He found out Mimi was still living at the laundromat, struggling to get by, so he secretly got her an apartment, paid her rent, got her groceries, bills, and kept on visiting her over the years. When he had some films blowing up like The Hangover 2 and The Campaign, he actually took her as the date to his opening events. And there's photos of them together at the red carpet, arm in arm, smiling and just completely overwhelmed by all of it. They had a truly amazing friendship, and Zach never forgot about her, even when he blew up and became rich and famous.
If there is one secret doctor tip that I could share with you that you've probably never heard anywhere else, this would be it. There is a place where doctors go to, where we look up the latest research and the latest innovations. And that place is called PubMed. And on PubMed, you can go to the search bar and type a particular disease or condition that you might be interested in learning more about. But more importantly, and this is where the tip comes in, if you are finding difficulty finding the right doctor to treat a condition that you have, like, for example, let's say that you have Lyme disease and you cannot find a doctor who will treat you properly, if you type in Lyme disease into the PubMed search bar, you will find a list of the most frequent doctors who are researching this condition, who are experts in this condition, and have an interest in seeing people with this condition. And I don't make that second point lightly, because sometimes you see a doctor and they don't particularly have an interest or even want to treat you with the disease you're coming to see them with. And I hear this all the time from patients who have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, MCAS. So going to PubMed is kind of like my cheat code when someone asks me for a recommendation for someone in a particular, who has an expertise in a particular condition, because that means that these people, they have put in the work and they have a strong interest in this condition. They want to be seeing patients who have the condition that you have. And if you have a particular illness or disease that you have had a really hard time finding the right doctor to help you, please share your story. You never know who's watching these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you feel better.
A lot of people craving sweet sugars. Y'all got worms, parasites. I mean, everyone has worms and parasites and bacteria, but you have an infestation and you can easily fix that, right? But just know that the sugar cravings are not natural. It's not just you. It's them worms. All right, y'all be good. Clean them out. Be good. Love y'all.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but somebody at ICBC is editing driver's license photos to make us look psycho. They are. I don't know if they're trying to make us look psycho. Maybe they think that women should look as psycho as they think all women are. Maybe they don't want us to be able to rent Airbnbs or cars. I don't know. But somebody is editing the driver's license photos. Okay, before I show you, these are my eyes. Like, they're kind of big, but I don't have white above and below my eyes. Look right at the camera. I have to like really bulge up my eyes for that to happen. And when I was getting my photo taken, I actually slightly squinched my eyes because my last driver's license photo already looked like I had psycho eyes because it looked like I had no iris. If there's bright light shining on my eyes, the green gets very, very light, and in a black and white photo, it basically doesn't show up. And then when you make it really small photo, it just looks like I have tiny pupils and no irises and just these big white eyes. And so it already looked psycho. So I squinched them a tiny bit when I was getting the photo taken. So how does it look like this? I look like a zombie, and I look like I was already a serial killer before I became a zombie. And I'm gonna try to zoom in. All right, here's my proof. Look, it looks like they took the Photoshop blur tool and pushed the white of my eye out past the eyelid. Like, here's my eyelid, and I don't know what all of this like dark, smudgy, clumpy makeup is. I wasn't wearing that. But here's my actual eyelid, so it should be going all the way over to here, and instead the white is like smudged out, and same with up here. And what happened to my iris? Like, how come parts of it are missing and it's going like this? Like, somebody did this. What is that? Where's my eyebrow? This looks weird. This isn't, I mean, I know that it's like sparse in some areas, but I don't know. I don't know what this is. And look at this. What's this line right here in the middle of my lip? And then it's really dark right there too. And so it makes my lip look like it's ending here. And then it gets bigger down here. And this dark line there, like, I didn't do that. I don't put my lipstick on like this. Why is it edited like that? And in case you think I'm making it up, look at this W on my neck. Where's my finger? Look at this weird mark right there. So somebody did that. I'd like to, well, never mind. I was gonna say something critical about my appearance, but, and look right here too. That white right there, like, they did that. I don't understand why. Is it because people take these photos and then they create fake passports or something, and they want to be able to prove where the photo came from? Like, did AI do this? Does anybody know anybody at ICBC who can answer this question? What's going on here? I'm gonna sue.